Eleanor Roosevelt was a trailblazer for women in politics. A dedicated humanitarian, feminist, and card-carrying union member, she redefined the role of First Lady. Roosevelt used her platform to shed light on the injustices facing African Americans, increase women's engagement in politics and the workplace, and fight for human rights across the globe.
Eleanor Roosevelt to me means just not asking permission to do the right thing and to be who you are.
She really opened my eyes with a very popular quote of hers, and it's the "do something every day that scares you." And it's really meaningful to me because as a woman in politics and in activism and advocacy, I really struggle from imposter syndrome. And that quote to me is so powerful in, if what you're doing isn't scaring you, maybe you're not taking enough risk.
In 1938, Roosevelt famously defied Jim Crow laws by refusing to sit in the whites-only seating area during a public meeting in Birmingham, Alabama. A few years later, she challenged racial discrimination in our armed forces when she asked to take a flight with a black pilot at the Tuskegee Institute. During the darkest days of the Great Depression, Roosevelt advocated for the inclusion of working women and minorities in federal relief programs. She firmly believed the New Deal should be a fair one too.
She was way out ahead of everybody else. She was a tremendous influence, of course, on FDR, even though at that point they really lived divergent lives. She helped modify his views, which I think was a wonderful thing that she was there doing that. Traveled all over the place in this Buick, and she drove, which was no Secret Service, no nobody, and they'd stop and they'd talk to people. She wrote a daily column up till almost the day she died.
As the United States' first delegate to the United Nations, Eleanor Roosevelt left an indelible mark on human history as one of the authors of the Universal Declaration on Human Rights. She fought hard to ensure the dignity, liberty, and equality of every human being. The Declaration continues to be the gold standard against which laws, treaties, and international agreements are measured.
I think that Eleanor Roosevelt would, she'd be excited to see how many women are in the public eye and in policy and advocacy, because she really set the initial example of representation in public policy for women.
Complete healthcare for everyone, without a doubt, a decent living wage. No question she would be fighting for a decent wage.
She would look at all of these choices people are having to make about where they stand on equality and human rights and justice, and she would speak out.
She'd be a strong voice again, trying to wedge that gap in the divisiveness that's here.
Today, Eleanor Roosevelt continues to inspire young men and women and generations of public servants. Her courage, persistence, and commitment to social justice move each one of us to honor our commitment to public service and use our voices to improve the lives of others. Thank you for honoring Eleanor Roosevelt's legacy, as well as the many Utah women who are following her example.